All right, everyone. Overnight, Israel did attack Iran. Trump had asked them not to do so, but they apparently were planning this for about 8 months or thereabouts. It's called Operation Rising Lion, destroying a bunch of nuclear sites, killing off a significant proportion of the top military brass, actually, in the process and causing chaos. Iran responded, of course, by sending fleets of drones which Iron Dome generally downed. It's not clear how much damage was done to Israel. The reporting right now, fog of war, we've got to keep in mind, is going to be spotty. Apparently, though, the breaking news is that Israel just attacked another nuclear facility as I'm making this video about half an hour ago or thereabouts. So this is escalating and continuing, and everyone has an opinion about it. Opinions, though, are like assholes. I've noticed that a lot of people, they get so hyper motivated by Israel v. Iran or Israel v. Jew v. Muslim or something like that, that it's very difficult to maintain neutrality as I do without getting someone breathing down your throat. People who are in favor of Israel, for example, will say, well, if we remain neutral, you're helping the terrorists. People who are in favor of the Islamic world in general or Iran as a country or something like that, they'll say, well, if you don't side with us, you want women and children to die. Look at the atrocities Israel's committing in Gaza. And I'm sitting here thinking, why is this my problem? Ultimately, why is this my fight? The only thing that I want to do is not be involved. I don't believe the United States should be funding and equipping Israel, and I don't believe that we need a deal with Iran because it will inevitably be giving them money, basically a fucking bribe, a goddamn tribute or something like that, like medieval style. I don't believe in any of these things. I'm simply anti-war and pro-America first. I believe that we need to look to our domestic issues before we're going to be capable of exerting any force in these foreign entanglements anyway. And our founders, generally speaking, thought we shouldn't have any foreign entanglements. The United States was incepted as a nation that would trade with you and have diplomacy with you. We didn't really want to join any entangled networks that would result in like what we saw with World War One, or what we saw with World War Two, or what we may see with World War Three, which will be the final world war that's not fought with sticks and rocks and stuff like that because we'll get knocked back to the Stone Age effectively. I do not want that to happen. I mean, I'm ambivalent as to whether I get vaporized in a mushroom cloud or something like that, but I don't wish that on other people. I think that people should leave each other alone. I know that this is semi-naive, of course, because they're not going to leave each other alone. Humans, unfortunately, evolved from an ancestor closer to the chimp rather than the bonobo, and so we don't simply have big-ass orgies when we have a problem. I think that would be a more fun world. Probably be more overpopulated by now, but whatever. So link in the description, archived, of course. There are live updates on literally every news site right now. Pretty much everyone is weighing in on it. And also I see a lot of shilling. It's not just shelling, it's also shilling. What's happened is that liberal commentators are attempting to blame this on Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump has failed. He caused the war and stuff like that. No, no, Israel hauled off. The fact that we're giving them money doesn't make us directly culpable for what is happening right now. We are responsible in part for what's happening in Gaza. That argument can be made. Israel ignored U.S. advice, apparently, and hauled off here. Now, U.S. intel was definitely utilized with regards to these strikes. They are far too decapitational and far too surgical for them to be attributed to just Israeli intelligence. That part is true. It's sort of like what we did actually between Iraq and Iran back in the day. Did you know that the United States government gave logistic support to Saddam Hussein in order to attack the Iranians. Did you know that the United States has been meddling in Middle Eastern affairs since the late 1940s? We were the ones that overthrew the old Iranian government and basically had this one installed, then overthrew. Well, no, then we overthrew it again, and then things just get messy here. Look at what's happening in Syria right now, for example. This happens over and over and over. Look at Obama's efforts. You know, the Muslim Spring, as they called it, almost overthrew Egypt, collapsed the nation of Libya, almost overthrew Tunisia. And by the way, that was a really, really weird story. I can remember reporting on it at the time. In Tunisia, a bunch of students using fucking Facebook and shit like that were communicating with each other to do counterterrorism and shit, in order to force the rioters out and prevent the nation from falling. That's the only reason their nation didn't collapse like Libya. Effectively, you could have ended up with a completely destabilized North Africa. Thankfully, that did not happen. And of course, then you have the FSA and ISIS and all of this other crap going on. But it's not our concern. The only international concern we should have, in a military sense, is making sure that the shipping lanes stay open. And we can do this in partnership with pretty much any other nation because no nation wants its ships blockaded, so to speak. As long as that is a function of the U.S. Navy and Air Force, generally speaking, and of course the Marines guarding the ships at that dock and so forth, which is probably a good idea. As long as we're doing that, we need have no real further concern unless another nation is outright threatening nuclear war or something like that. But if Israel and Iran get into it, it's going to be a regional conflict. It does not matter. Neither Israel nor Iran actually is capable of posing a domestic threat to the United States. Neither of them is capable of doing so. Israel does have nuclear weapons, or at least they have nuclear triggers, and we suppose that they probably have nuclear weapons. They maintain a policy of ambiguity. Iran might have some atomic weapons that they've developed. Of course, now their nuclear facilities are wrecked, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, they're definitely trying to create such weapons. It's just it's taken them a while. And that being said, if they haul off, well, they get destroyed. Oh, that's really, really sad. A bunch of civilians will die because of barbarism. I'm worried about the civilians in my country. I'm not particularly worried about what happens in the Middle East. That's about all. Peace out.